All right, guys, welcome in. Today, we are going to be going over how you can build your brand, get your marketing assets and everything set up so that you can save yourself a little bit of time every time you get a new listing. And if I haven't met you yet, my name is Monica Perry. I'm your Market Center Tech Trainer in Winston-Salem, Greensboro, and Chapel Hill Market Centers. And I'm so excited that you guys are all here with me today. We've got a few people coming in from the waiting room. We're going to go ahead and take off and share our screen. And today, here's what we're going to be going over. So hopefully, thumbs up, you guys can see my screen now. Yes, fantastic. Got a few more folks coming in. So today we're going to talk about building our brand. And what I mean by that is one of the most important parts of branding yourself is consistency in your messaging, and not only your messaging, but the way things look. So while I know it's fun to have some variety and you still can, try to be kind of consistent with the way that everything looks. That way, at a glance, people know that it's you that's posting it, right? So we definitely want to establish our look for our company, right? Because we're each our own independent company under the umbrella of Keller Williams. So the first thing that we're going to look at is setting up our assets in Designs, okay? So we are going to go into Command, which is agent.kw.com. If you haven't bookmarked that yet, make sure that you go ahead and bookmark that for yourself. And hopefully we're working in Google Chrome. I know I have quite a few Mac users and you guys are used to using Safari, and you can absolutely use Safari. And if you happen to run into something not quite working correctly, your first step is always going to be to try that out in a Google Chrome window, okay? So now that we are logged into Designs, we're going to come over to the left hand, or into Command, we're going to come over to the left-hand side and click on Designs, our Designs applet. So if you ever forget what all these fun little applets are on your left, you can always click on the white KW on the red background and pop those out so that you can remember what they are. Designs is where we can make our print designs for a new listing. We can make social media designs through here. There's some KW love, some client love, all kinds of fun stuff in here. So let's go ahead and click on this Designs applet. Once we get here, if you haven't created a design yet, you might not see things here on your screen, and that's okay because we're going to get you making designs today. Or you can be crazy like me and already have 912 designs because I may or may not love the Designs platform. I was a Canva user, right? So I used to love using Canva. And so when Designs came out, I had a whole new playground. Please pardon my phone. I meant to turn that down. I love this little platform here. So I want you guys to take notice. We're on this screen. The first thing that we're going to do to create a design is we are going to click Create Design in the upper right corner, okay? Now, when we go to create a design and we choose one to move forward, it is going to take us out of the Command ecosystem. So note over here on the left, we have all of our Command applets. We're going to go ahead and click Create Design. I'm going to choose social first. And once I do this and click continue, you're going to notice all of my Command applets are going to fall away from the left-hand side because we are going to be moving into the WeBrand company's designs portal that they have built for us at KW. So don't worry, you can always get back to Command, but what I really love is the fact that we can have multiple Command windows open. So a lot of times if I'm working in contacts and then I need to drop in and make a design, I will just have two windows open. I'll have the Designs window that I'm working in, and I just go ahead and open another Command window for myself. So just a little quick tip there, okay? So now that we are here in the WeBrand system, you're going to see some tabs up at the top. And the first one that I want to check out is the Assets tab. So if you haven't come in yet to Designs and set up your assets, we do have to get ourselves into WeBrand. So we have to click on that paintbrush on the canvas, which is Designs in Command. And then we need to click Create Design in that upper right-hand corner like we just did. Pick Print or Social are the two choices you would want to choose. And then click Create. and that's going to bring us here. So is everybody caught up? All good, thumbs up. You guys are over on my right-hand screen, just so you know. That's why I'm looking that way, to look at your pretty faces. All right, so now that we're here, we're going to click on this Assets tab. And let me make sure I have my participant window open in case somebody comes in. We are going to see several options on the left. So we have the option to set up color palettes, right? I love KW Red, don't get me wrong. And my brand color is actually this dark teal, okay? So it doesn't mean that I don't ever use KW Red. I kind of use a palette of the KW Red, black, gray, and my teal color. So that's my main palette that I have set up here. And you can create several palettes if you want. If you're super into the seasons and you want to have a palette for fall posts, and you want to have a palette for all of our patriotic holidays that we have in the summer months, maybe St. Patrick's Day, maybe you love Duke basketball, right? And you want to live by those brand colors when it's March Madness time. Today is the first day of NFL preseason, if you guys didn't know that. So I'm super excited for that too. All right, so you can set up as many color palettes as you want. So let's look at that. I'm just going to click Add Color Palette in my upper right corner. Okay, and now you see I've got a blank color palette here. So I can go ahead and choose to name this color palette. Let me see what I don't have yet. I'm going to make a holidays color palette. So maybe during the holiday season, I want to live it up in that red and green world. I can just click the plus, move my little bar across until I get into those greens. Maybe I want kind of a foresty green, so I can click right there. I will see a display of that color here, and I just simply click off, and now that's added to my color palette. So I'll show you guys in a little bit where these color palettes come into play. But before I move forward, does anybody have any questions about color palettes? All good? Got a few more folks coming into our room. There we go. Okay, great. So the other thing that we can do is add fonts down here at the bottom. So if you've been through the fonts and designs and you're like, yeah, I really just would like a different font for my brand to make me kind of stand out, right? You can choose to go to web fonts and you can search for a font. It takes a minute to load. We've got a long list of fonts that we can add in to our designs platform here, okay? Also, if you went to a designer and had a specific font built for your brand, you can upload that font here into the system. So you can click the upload button. You just need to have it in one of these 5 file formats listed here. So if you go to that designer, just make sure that they give you one of these 5 file formats for the font. That's a lot of F words that they are building for you, and you can upload that here, right? So good deal. Any questions on fonts? Awesome. Okay, cool. So let's move on to images. So of course I am a real estate agent, but I don't really sell right now. I just do referrals. So your folders in here might look a little bit different than mine. Okay. Obviously you need to have headshots. So I'm going to open my headshots folder. And what I've done is I have several different formats of my same headshot, right? So I've taken the background out of my headshot. I've got one in a portrait, right? The taller size picture. I have some in a square, because depending upon what my design is, where I'm going to be dropping that photo, I might not want to have a background, or I might want the portrait size, or I might want the square one. If it's going to go into a circle frame, square is definitely the way to go, so it doesn't smush your head in weird kind of ways. So you can always just edit these on your computer, and people always ask me how to remove the background from my picture. So I'm going to show you guys that. It's not in command. I have asked to have that added, but it's not there yet. But the best place I have found is just go to remove BG on Google. You just search remove BG like so, and you click upload image. And I'll just grab something from my files here, and we'll take that background out. We'll do my son. There we go. All I do is upload it and boom, background gone. That was it. And then I can download this image. Okay. So that's how I remove the backgrounds from my photos. You might have it already on your computer and that's fine, but I always like to show people because I do get asked that question. Okay, so I'm going to go back one step by clicking on images. Currently, we're in my headshots folder, which takes me to folders, right? You can create folders within your assets. So if you have like cityscapes that you got a photographer to take because you work in the Triad, no shade to anywhere else, that's just where I live. And say I had some pictures of, you know, Louisville town, that really cute little area out there. And I had some pictures of Clemens and I have some pictures of downtown Winston-Salem. And I want to use those in different pieces of my marketing. Then I could have a folder for cityscapes where I drop all of those images in. I can have a folder for my headshots. I can have a folder for, you know, if I'm a luxury agent. I know we had Dee Dee in the house a little while ago. Yep, she's still in here. Dee Dee lists a lot of luxury properties. So maybe she wants to use some of those photos from luxury properties, of course, with permission, in her marketing. After the fact of that listing, she could have a folder for luxury home images that she might want to use in her branding, right? So whatever you need for your business, you can just simply add a folder. And I'm going to go ahead and use that luxury listings as an example. And now I have a folder where I can drop those pictures. Okay, and I'm going to show you where these come into play a little bit later. It's great to go ahead and take the time to set this stuff up for yourself because it is a time saver later, right? We're a company of systems and models, and this is your system for doing your marketing pieces, right? So the more you set up on the front end, the easier your life is down the road. So this is one of those times where I tell my agents, you guys have heard it if you've been in any of my classes, turn on your favorite music, get yourself your favorite beverage, sit down with yourself, give yourself some time to set this up and make your life easier down the road. Because once you're in the hustle and bustle, then you're going to have to be uploading things and it can just take you a lot more time when you're trying to do things quickly. Whereas if you set aside the time now, you're going to make yourself happier in the long run. So any questions on images? Good? Awesome. Let's move on to text. Okay, so this is your opportunity where anything that you're going to need to type over and over again, because I know we all love to do that because we all have time to type things repeatedly. I know I don't. So anything that you would need to add into a design, your app code, your website, your company's address, your phone number, email address, your name, right? Anything that you might need to add into a design, you can go ahead and upload it here. So we can create a new field and we can choose from one of these, right? I've already got most of these main things set up. But maybe I wanted to add something different. I can click other. As you go through creating designs, you might find out that certain designs have your information all in a text block instead of being individual lines, because that's what I've done. You can see I have some of my information put together in little blocks. That's because when I was creating a design, I was like, oh gosh, this is all in one piece. So I came back into my assets and created it. So you just give it a label so that you know what it is, and then you can type your text in here and click save. Okay, so you can see I have quite a bit of stuff in here for my text. Any questions on that? Pretty good? Cool. Let's move on to logos. So as I stated at the beginning of class, I am in 3 market centers. So I have 3 folders worth of company logos, right? Because I have to make different pieces of branding for my different offices. You guys might not be in that same boat, but you may have all of your company logos in one folder, and then maybe you have your own logo for your company under the Keller Williams umbrella. I created one just so I could show you guys how this works, right? Maybe you have it in different files and formats and squares and the longer ones. If you want to put it at the top of something, then you can upload all of these and create folders as well. And I always get asked, where can I go get my company's logos? Because look at all these pretty formats we have. right? We have no background, with a background, black, white, gray, right? Grayscales, solid blacks, right? We have all these different colors of our logo. So in order to get these, you are going to head into KW Connect, which you can see I have that bookmarked for myself right here. And my Greensboro folks, if I have anybody from Greensboro, I do apologize. KWRI has yet to upload KW1's logos in here. So this won't work for you. For you guys, either email me or you can check out your company Facebook group and your KW1 logos are in that Facebook group. But for Chapel Hill and for Winston-Salem, if you come to KW Connect, you're going to hover over the resources button on the black bar at the top. Okay, so again, we're at kwconnect.com. We're hovering over resources, and we are going to slide down to the marketing button. Boop. Once we get here, you're going to see quite a bit of stuff actually that might be of use to you. Okay, but for right now, we're going to click on logos and branding. And now that we're here, we have access to the KW Identity and Style Guide. I know a lot of us, I know I did because I came from a different firm where everything was the same, right? Everyone's business card looked the same. Our signs all looked the same. And I loved when I got to KW that I had the option to kind of build out my own personal style, and all that is great. And we do have a few regulations from KWRI, right, on what our marketing pieces are supposed to be. So if you're going to get custom signs made, check out this identity and style guide and just make sure that you're within the parameters, or give it to the person creating your signs. They may or may not ask for it, and this is where you can come and get it. But we're going to slide through here and you're going to see market center logos, right? So as we know, each KW office is independently owned and operated, right? So I've got 3, Keller Williams Realty Elite in Winston-Salem, Keller Williams United in Chapel Hill, and KW1 in Greensboro. Okay, each one of those are independently owned firms, and they each have their own logo. So if you come right here to this search box, you can type your market center name or number. I find number easier because there are a whole lot of KW Elites and variation there on it. But Winston-Salem, and you might want to note this anyway if you don't know it, your market center number is 994. Greensboro, you are 509. Chapel Hill, you are 685. So I'm just going to go ahead and put 994, and there we are, market center number 994. Our market center name is Elite, and I can download that whole suite of logos that you see in my design asset library under my logos. So does anybody have any questions about where you go to get your logos? So I get that one quite a bit. Good? Fantastic. Elements. This is where you can drop in, like, follow me on YouTube, you know, like me on Facebook, all that kind of fun stuff, just little buttons. You can also upload videos, both from your computer, if you have the file saved, or if you've posted something on YouTube, you can link it through a YouTube link. Okay, so if you're going to be using videos in some of your branding, you might want to upload those here. Any questions on videos? Good. And last but not least is files. I've still yet to really see where these are going to come into play, but I'm excited to see it. I dropped a working with real estate agents brochure in here. I haven't found where to put it yet, but it's available for you to upload here, just so you know. All right, that takes us to the end of assets. On this guide, which I'm going to drop into the chat at the end of class, there is an article from answers.kw.com on how to set up your assets. So if you get off of this call, if you're not following along at the time, I know someone said they didn't have their login information yet, and you're like, I can't remember where I'm supposed to click. You can click on this article, and it's going to walk you through all the steps that I just showed you. Cool? So now that we've set up our assets, let's dive in and start making some designs and showing you where these assets work. Okay? Move my Zoom bar out of the way. Boop. All right. I'm going to move back to templates. Actually, I'm going to move all the way back out of the system. We're going to pretend like we've set up our templates, or our assets rather, and now we're coming in and we're like, I got a new listing. Yay. I want to make some designs. And you could go ahead and make these before you have your first listing. That way you don't have to worry about it then when you already have enough to worry about. So we come back into command. And again, we're going to go to designs for anybody that came in late and hasn't been in the system yet. We're going to click on the canvas on the left-hand side with the paintbrush, which is going to bring us to designs. And we are going to click, oh, is my screen sharing paused? My bad. There we go. We came to the applet on the left called designs. And now that we're here, we're going to click create design in the upper right corner. So if the listing is already in the MLS and has been for maybe 24 hours, you can import photos and videos, or photos and text from a listing. And I'll show you where you can do that within the design as well. If it hasn't hit the market yet and you're about to make like a coming soon or a just listed post, and you're going to be uploading the pictures from your photographer, then you wouldn't click this little box, right? So we're going to start with social, and I'm going to click continue. Going to bring us back to here, but we're going to be under templates when we get here this time instead of assets. Okay, so we're going to see some templates over here on the left, and we have lots of them. We have collections and luxury and professional services and holidays. Holidays are great. Leadership, business basics, lead generation, buyers, listings, case score, right? We have all these things that we can do. Today, we're focusing on building our brand as far as listings go, really. So I'm going to go ahead and expand this listings. We have coming soon, for sale, just listed, just sold, local expert, neighborhood snaps, open house, price update, and under contract. Okay. So I'm just going to click on coming soon. If you are a user of the coming soon method of marketing your listings, it may be worth your time to come in here and go ahead and set yourself up some designs. I personally did not do coming soons, so I haven't set these up, but what I have set up is just listed. Okay. I've already made a bunch of designs. Once you know how to edit one, you really know how to edit them all. So we're going to look at creating some, and then I'm going to show you some really great ways to organize these to save yourself time later. Okay. But what I do recommend, like I said at the top of the class, is kind of find the look you like, at least for a while, and stick with it, right? So you're just listed, you're under contract, you're just sold, all of it nice and cohesive, right? So that when someone sees it, they think you. Okay. So I'm going to first click on this just listed and click use in the corner. It's going to open up this design for me. I'm going to wait for it to load. My computer always likes to get finicky with the internet when I start sharing screen on Zoom. Let it finish its thing here. There we go. So now we have this social wide sized, just listed social media post. Okay. The great thing about designs is they have already sized these out for us. So we have social wide, we have a social square, and we have them sized for a social story, the taller designs. If you've been in this business for any longer than 5 years, probably, you will know the pains that we used to have to go through. You used to have to go to Google and you had to look up what size is a picture on Facebook, and then you would have to go into Publisher or whatever you were using and make it fit exactly in there, or it would cut pieces off of it in Facebook. It was not the most fun thing in the world. We no longer have to worry about that because these are sized and ready to go for us, right? So now here's where those assets come into play. Okay. I'm going to click on this DBA name right here. And sometimes these logos are finicky. There it comes. There we go. So now that I've clicked on that, guess what? I've got my asset set up. They're over here on the left. All I have to do is replace the logo with that button right there, the little recycle circle. Just click it, boom. My new logo's there. It's already sized, ready to go. Okay. What if I thought, man, you know, this is pretty and I'm trying to build my brand here and I really would like for my face to be on this post. Well, guess what? Up here under images on the left, I have my headshots. And maybe I don't want it to get in the way of whatever I'm trying to post here. I can take this one with no background, click it, it drops it into my design. I can make it smaller. I can drag it down here into the corner, just so people equate my face with this design. So I just clicked it, it went into the design. I can resize by dragging from the corners, and then I can pick it up and move it to my desired location. Okay. Now let's look at something else that's really cool. If you already have this listing live, okay, I'm not going to use this one because I'm going to show you guys something else. I don't have listings, so I'm just going into my licensed market center, which my license is in Winston-Salem, so that's what I have access to. We'll try to find something really bougie today because I'm just feeling bougie. See what we can find. Let's go up to the highest price ones. Gramercy Park. Yes. No. Commercial. We don't want that. Cherry Hill Lane. Pretty. Pretty. Gotta find one I really like the pictures on. Bear with me. Oh, here we go. Who's got this? Abby Umoff coming in with 1803 Meadowbrook Drive in Winston-Salem. We're going to copy this little MLS. Obviously, if this was your listing, you would already know the MLS number. I just don't have listings. So this is what we're going to use. Okay. So back here, I can now click on KWLS on the side. Pop it open. I can paste that MLS number right there. And we're searching by MLS number. Enter. And there it is right here, 1803 Meadowbrook Drive. It's going to pull in all of my images that I've already got in the MLS. I didn't have to upload them. All right. It also has all of my listing details over here under this tab. So I don't have to type any of those either, which I love. So let's move into photos here. I'm going to replace this stock image with one of my listings photos. So I'm going to click my stock image. It's going to get surrounded with a blue box. So whatever you're working on, you want to see that blue box around it. And I can come to the left and replace it. There's the front exterior. Maybe I'm like, I really felt interior photo-y. Then I can replace it with this one and see if I like that. So I can just go through and keep clicking that refresh button until I find the image that speaks to me the most for this design, pulling them straight from the MLS. I'm going to go with this little living room picture here. Okay. I can click here on the address, come to the left, click listing details. Here's the address, replace. Didn't have to type it. Right? Maybe I wanted to have my phone number and stuff showing up on here. Well, guess what? Under text in my assets, boop, I've got my assets tab right here. Here's all those things of text that I had created under my assets. So I can just look through until I find the one that I want. Maybe it's this one and click it. It's going to drop it into the design. I can stretch it. I can drag it to wherever I want it to be. It's taking its sweet time here to work with me. We'll give it a little grace in the words of Candy Dillard. I'm going to slide it over to my picture. And maybe I'm like, that's a little big. I can just drag from the corner until it fits the way I want it. Maybe I want this to be white. Then I can come up here to my colors, okay? I can click to open this. These are the template colors, right? The template I'm currently working in, these are colors that are in it. But I can also click on library colors here, and there's my color palettes. My main, my holidays, whichever one I want to work on. Maybe I want to change it to white. And maybe I want to change this red to my signature dark teal. Boom. Done. Right? So now I have my just listed design ready to go on Facebook. I always like to rename my design so I know what it is. So maybe this is 1803 Meadowbrook, just listed, and it's a social wide post, so I know what it is. Before I leave here, does anybody have any questions on anything we just did? Good? All right, I'm gonna click done. When I click done, it's gonna bring me back out of this design and all the way back to be able to create a new design. I want you guys to know what your buttons do, okay? So now if I wanted to go size 1 for a social story, I could just click create design, social, continue, right? It's gonna bring me back in. If I'm in a design, I'm gonna show you one more, and I go back with the button on the left that says home instead of the button on the right that says done, the home button is going to bring me back to this screen. So when you finish your design, depending on where you want to go, you're going to click to the right or the left. One's going to bring you back into your templates. One's going to bring you back out of the WeBrand system. Okay. So pretty sweet, right? We're still under listings. Let me get into for sale. Since I chose social, I'm only seeing the options for social. So when I created my design, I picked social, so that's what it's showing me. If I go moving around in here for a while, doing some other stuff, looking at my designs and stuff like that, it's going to bring me back into templates, and I'm going to have some more options, like the print options and stuff like that, because you can make flyers. You can make postcards. You can make the social wide, social square, social story size posts, right? So look at all these different designs that you're able to make in here. I've made tons of them, okay? But what I want to bring your attention to now is how you can organize these. So it didn't take us that long to make that post, right? But check this out. I've made myself a folder. I'm under my designs. I have folders and I can add them. I have a folder called listing marketing that I can click on. And there are my just listed, all my whole suite of just listed posts. Okay. So this was my last listing up in Sparta. And now I just got that suite listing over in Buena Vista. So I need to make new ones, right? I'm still trying to stick within my brand that I'm building. So I can click these 3 dots on this social square. I can duplicate it. So it's already got all of my information in it. There's the duplication. Okay. Questions on how I did that? Good. I can just click into open. And I can click on this image, come to the left, click on KWLS. I'm going to search for that MLS number again. Here's my new listing. And now I have all of this listings info, so I can grab this picture and replace it with that picture. And I can go to my listing details and say this was actually built in 1940, not 2015. So I want to show you guys the typewriter feature. This says built in 2015. I'm going to click it. I've got my blue box. Remember, we're looking for the blue box when we have something selected. I'm going to come up to my toolbar and click on typewriter. And then I can change this to 1940. I didn't have to worry about double clicking in, clicking something wrong, resizing. save changes, replaced, done. Already got my logo, my picture. Might need to change out the number of bedrooms and bathrooms. They're listed over here though, 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, so 3.1 baths. So again, I can click here, click my typewriter. It's going to pop this up and I can say this is 3.1 bath. And I would know the square footage, and this is 825. So I can change my price and click save changes. And now it's done. I can post. There's even a share button. Boop. When I click share, I have the ability to share it to Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn, and recently added Instagram, right? So this recent addition of Instagram within Designs for sharing purposes is going to give us the ability soon to be able to schedule posts to Instagram in campaigns. So as soon as that comes available, I will be sure to let you guys know. But that way I didn't have to reinvent the wheel. I just switched out, my address, which I had forgotten to do. So we're going to switch that. I just switched out my address, number of bedrooms and baths, and the picture. Done. Right? I made a copy. So this one is now 1803 Meadowbrook. And again, if I click done, it takes me all the way out of Designs. If I click home, it's just going to take me back one step. It's going to bring me back right here. Went in good time, There we go. So now I have it done. I have that ready to go. And you can do the same thing for all of your listing marketing. You can see I've made a postcard. I have made the social square, a flyer. This one is the postcard. This one is that social story. I can make them for under contract. I can make them for just sold. I can make them for whatever I want. And you don't have to have a listing yet. They have stock images in them. So you can come in here and explore and decide, this is what I like. These are my brand colors. So, this is what I want it to look like. You can go ahead and have it set up. And when you get that listing, switch out those images and your data. How can you move existing templates into a folder? That's a great question. So now that I have my listing marketing folder, and I just went through and created some open house stuff, I just grab, drag, drop. Grab, drag, make sure it turns blue, let it go. So that way I can do that. And I can even create for the OCD in us, me, right? I can even come in here into my listing marketing and create another folder and say, this is my under contract stuff. This is my open house stuff, right? I could create it by addresses because we all know in North Carolina, we're supposed to keep copies of all of our marketing for 3 years. 3 years, right? You can do that. You can make a folder and there it is. And if anybody ever said, I need your marketing for that house over in Buena Vista, then you're going to have a folder for it right there, right? So it's helping you stay compliant. It's helping you save time when you get a listing because we all know how busy that can be, right? We have a lot of stuff we have to do when we get a listing, okay? What do you guys think? Pretty sweet? Pam came in late. I will, Pam. I will be dropping the notes into the Build Your Brand notes into the chat here in just a little bit. Absolutely. Okay, so we've set up our assets. We've made some designs. There's an article if you need to read it. Set aside some time, create your marketing pieces. We've organized them into folders. And then when you get a new listing, you can just make a copy and switch out the relevant information. That's kind of where I ended, but since we haven't had a ton of questions, we have a little extra time. So would you guys like to see an email design made for a listing? Yes or no in the chat will suffice, or do you want to ask questions? Cool. Let's check it out then. So the email designs are going to look a little bit different. Okay. So I'm going to click into this just to get us back to, we've got to get back out of WeBrand, right? So I'm going to click done this time. So it'll take me all the way back. Get my command apps back on the right, left, my other left. Let this load. We're going to click create design. And this time we're going to choose email. So you're going to see it looks a little bit different. Okay. So now I get to choose what email template I want. We have, because KW loves us, 72 email templates. Okay. So we have featured homes for sale, open house, right? Then we have some ready-made emails that are just ready to get sent out. Okay. I'm going to do this approachable for sale and click next. It's going to move me forward into my email editor. Also in good time. I'm going to keep checking the chat. Miss Neva Williams is in the house too. Miss all you guys. All right. So we're here. This says for sale. It's got a spot. I'm waiting for it to load. It's got a spot for the address. It's got a spot for the price, the number of bedrooms and bathrooms, a spot for us to put our commentary in about the listing, a button that we can use, and a spot for 2 additional photos. Now, I always get asked, how am I supposed to add all of my market center and brokerage information and my picture and my app code and all that stuff? You don't have to, because it's already there. If it's got all these little asterisks and you have your marketing profile set up, which if you don't, we need to make sure that you do. I'm going to come up and click Options Preview. Because of all the things in my marketing profile, it already knows that my logo is KW Elite. Slide. It's already got my picture, my name, my title, license number, website. This little button leads them directly to my specific app download, right? It's got all my stuff down here at the bottom. All of this stuff is populating from your marketing profile. So to get to marketing profile, you're in command, click in the upper right corner on your picture, drop down settings to the left, connect marketing profile. And I'll show you guys that real quick when we get out of here. Okay, so that's that preview. I can see what it would look like on a tablet, and I can see what it would look like on a phone. Just truncated down in size, but still nicely sized for the view that they'll be in. Okay, so it works a little bit different. I'm going to click on this picture. Okay, I'm going to click the little pencil. It's right here on this teal block, like so. Then I need to click replace image. If I didn't have it, if it was pre-listed, right, coming soon, just listed, and you wasn't in MLS yet, then I could upload the picture by clicking add images, upload my photographer's pictures. But if it is listed, we do have that ability for listing images again. And I'm going to search by that MLS number. Search. And here's my Abby's listing. So I'm going to click view. Then take it a minute. Everything wants to take a minute today. That's okay. We'll be nice. Possibly, unless it keeps taking this long. Come on. Okay. It just wants to give me a hard time today. That's all right. I know it works because I did it right before class. All right, I'm just going to upload an image because I'm tired of waiting. We're going to upload this image of Carolina Beach, my big Y. I'm going to click it and replace and click done, and it'll drop the picture in, right? It works pretty much the same when you pull it in from a listing. It's just being slow. I've got this pencil. I'm going to put my street address in there, right? Whatever it is. and click done. And it will change it. Price, pencil. Bedrooms, pencil. So this is how we edit these emails. Text box, pencil, shows up over here on the right. Okay, then I can edit this out. Check out this new listing in Buena Vista. And if you don't live in Winston-Salem, no, I'm not saying Buena Vista wrong. Technically, yes, I know I am. But when you live here, it is Buena Vista. Now, this button, pin, what can I link it to? Well, I could have built a landing page for this listing. So maybe I want to link it there. It's got the ability for people to log in, which captures their data and gives me a lead. But bonus, web address. What did we just get in our websites? Anybody know? Y'all should know because I've been posting about it.
You mean a new release?
Yep. In websites, what do we get?
As far as the consumer not having to register?
Right. Forced registration. Great, Keon. Exactly. So I can just look up my listing on my own website here. There it is. Ooh, it's open Sunday. Should have made open house branding for it. Okay. So this view will let somebody learn all about this listing. So I can copy this URL from my very own website. And in my design, I can link it to that button and say view listing, right? And then I can click done. And when they go to view the listing and they click that button, depending upon how you have your registration set up on your website, if you have it set to 0, as soon as they try to click into the listing, it's going to try to get them to register, right? If you don't, if you have it set at 2, maybe they look at that house, they look at one more, and then they want to look at a third, then it's going to force them to register. So all those little ways that you can use to capture more and more information, right? Pretty cool. Then we can save that email and we will have it available to use in either a smart plan or an email campaign. So we have just looked at all the different things pretty much that you can create when you get a listing, when it is coming soon, just listed, for sale, maybe price improved. I know that's like a foreign language right now from the market we've come out of. I used to have to do a lot of price improving when I was selling, but you have it for open houses. Think of all these different touch points you get from one listing. So make sure that you have that cohesive brand built and that you are blasting that stuff out on social, y'all. Because really, you might not get a lot of engagement on business related posts like you do on your personal posts, but people see it and people need to see your message over and over and over again in order for it to sink in. Does that make sense? The more that you do it, right? 5 to 7. If you came to class on Tuesday where we were talking about posting on social media, 5 to 7 times a week, that's a lot, right? A combination of personal and business. This is your business. So make sure that it's standing out. Make sure that it's you, right? So whatever your colors are, whatever your preference is for the way it looks, stick with it and get it out there in front of folks. Check out some other agents that really do a great job with consistent branding, right? I always know when it's Robert Poole's post because I see it and I know it's him, right? So any questions before we wrap up? I'm going to drop this in the chat. Was this helpful to you guys? Did you know that you could do all this? Can I get maybe 2 ahas either in the chat or you can unmute yourself and tell me something that you didn't know that you now know or something that just kind of sunk in with you today? I can wait. Y'all didn't learn anything today?
You want me to help you out, Monica?
Come on, Keon, show me something.
So two things. One, I didn't know about the palettes, so that was pretty cool. I put that into place, and then I didn't know about the folders, and I know that you know how organized I like to be. So
I do.
yeah, that was pretty cool for me. So I've
Awesome.
been spending the whole while listening to you and sticking stuff in different folders. So thank you.
You're welcome, and I love that. Yes, I see. I know that there are a couple of super organized people in here. When you learned how easy it is to use the asset feature, good to quickly add stuff. Didn't know you could put the listing address from the KWLS and didn't know about folders. Awesome, awesome. Well, hopefully these things will save you guys time and you can take them away and implement them in your business. Don't forget, if you don't have a listing yet, that's okay, right? You can still come in here and set your stuff up. And don't forget, you can always ask another agent if it's okay with them for you to market their listing because they want to get it sold, right? We're shifting, our market is shifting. So more marketing for them. The only thing they can say is no, right? If you don't have your own listing yet and you ask someone if you can market theirs, the only thing that they can say is no. And that's okay. Number next, go ask the next agent, right? Ask if you can host an open house. Then you can use this open house post, right, for that listing. The public, the general public they don't know the difference. I mean, I promise you, they really don't. They just see you out there hustling, which is what we want, right? Attract them into you, catch them in your web. If you haven't been reading Shift, I recommend that you start because we need to read it. Even if we're not going to shift, it's always good to go back to the fundamentals. So that's why I kind of base this month on all different kinds of ways that you guys can capture more business and more exposure. Cool deal? All right, my friends. Well, pending that we don't have any more questions, I'm going to give you guys back 7 minutes of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll see you all soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.